Hello and welcome back to the F1 22 My Team career. If you have missed the start to this season, go check out the card annotation in the top right hand corner of your screens and that will show you the whole entire playlist. But we are here for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix and this is what happened between the first round and the second round. We've upgraded our chassis, our aerodynamics facilities, as well as getting some more developments on the car, upgrading the chassis, upgrading the aero, the power unit, and also the durability of the car. We got a lot of resource points last time out. We also got a bit of a claim and some money for taking part in the supercar event. It's always good to take part in those because it does give you a little few bonuses. And of course, some practice programs were taken care of as well to get even more resource points to help upgrade this car even further. But we're now moving over to the qualifying session for this Saudi Arabian Grand Prix at the Jeddah circuit, round the final corner here in Q1. Can we make it into Q2 for the first time this season? Coming across the line for the first lap, it's not the best lap, it's a 1:30.9, but we are quicker than our teammate of Oscar Piastri, which is always good news. But we are a little bit off the pace of the likes of the Williams and of course the Aston Martins as well. But it's only lap one. Unfortunately, we did have a little knock against the wall during that lap, which is bad and good news. We have lost a bit of time there in the changeover, but it's good news because we know that we can go quicker, but we do mess up a little bit into the hairpin there as we go on the power just a bit too early. Of course, the back end going all over the place, so we just decide to bail on that lap straight into the pit lane and get rid of that one. But now moving on to our final lap now into Q1 on a fresh set of soft tyres. As you can see, nothing to separate this lap and my previous best, really hugging the wall on the left hand side to try and gain every little millimeter that we possibly can through the final corner. We absolutely send it through there. 2/10 of a second improvement, nearly 3/10 of a second improvement. Is it enough to move us up the standings? Unfortunately, it is not. It's only good enough for 21st position, only just losing out to my teammate of Oscar Piastri by about 2/10 of a second there. But we did beat Gotifi, which is always good news. Unfortunately, we are going to be starting this race from 21st on the grid. So without any further ado, let's get on with it. Heading into the race now for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. We've got a lot of ground to make up. Of course, the Gullis Racing F1 team aren't the best at the moment in Formula 1. We are just below McLaren, but we are apparently above Aston Martin and Williams. However, I don't think this is a track that is suited to our car because unfortunately we are right at the back of the field. But lining up on the grid in 21st position, we have a lot of positions to try and make up, and it worked well for us last time out. We didn't necessarily have the greatest qualifying sessions at the Bahrain Grand Prix, but we did manage to score our first points of the season so far. So we're going to be going for a similar strategy here today, starting again on the hard tyres and pitting for the softs. You can see we're only going to lose about 4 seconds of time doing this strategy, but what we could gain on is if there is a late safety car, then it's going to fall right into our hands. We get that free pit stop late on onto soft tyres, then can really go on the attack of all the other drivers. Again, parking into our pit box, into our starting grid, absolutely spot on there. It's 5 lights, our engine's revving, we're racing for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and it's a fairly average start, which you can expect, of course, being on the harder tyres. But having a little look around the outside, so everybody kind of gets a little bit congested into the first and second corners. Up the inside now of Alexander Albon. We've got my teammate of Oscar Piastri over on the left-hand side. Now, we're going to let him go through because we don't want to battle too much with our teammate. He is, of course, on a slightly different strategy compared to us. He's starting on the mediums and then going on to the hards. We want to make sure that he can drive on and try and attack the guys ahead of us and have the best possible race that he can do. If we got ahead of him and then started to hold him up and take him out that fight with the guys like Tsunoda, Vettel and Stroll, that's really not going to be good news for the team. So that's why we've let him through. We did manage to hold on the position against Alexander Albon through there as we come through the hairpin now, and all the drivers really tripping over each other. A little bit of front wing damage. I believe that was for Yuki Tsunoda as we overtake him out of the corner. Oscar Piastri, thankfully, has got through there okay as Oscar Piastri. And this is what happened. So Esteban Ocon just losing the rear end, getting a little snap as he went through that corner, tried to correct it, tapped the wall, and because of that, everybody just kind of tripped over each other. The two Aston Martins came to a stop. That sort of caught Yuki Tsunoda off guard there, and unfortunately for him, he's damaged his front wing. Both Esteban Ocon and Yuki Tsunoda having damage on this first lap and dropping there to the back of the field now. So that puts us up into P18. We got Piastri, of course, our teammate, now going on the attack of both Aston Martin drivers, who are also going wheel to wheel. He tries to split them down the middle, gets the jump there on Sebastian Vettel, and moves up into what is P16. And this battle is also allowing us on these harder tyres to get right up behind these guys. Now, they do not want this because we are going to be very quick later on in the race when we're on those soft tyres. So the more that they hold each other up, the more this plays into our favour. So we're going to need Piastri now to go onto the attack of Lance Stroll. And if he can do that, then he can pull him back in as we get a little warning there for exceeding track limits. So we do need to be careful about that. It's very easy around here to just push it a little bit too hard and cut a few corners as there's a lot of runoff area. But if we can just keep it clean, then that shouldn't affect us too much. Watching the leaders now, we've got Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez. As Carlos Sainz having a little look down in towards turn 1, and it looks like he has done a fantastic move there to jump his teammate Charles Leclerc and move into the lead of this race. So it's a Ferrari 1-2 as it stands. Further back, we've got Sebastian Vettel, unfortunately, now attacking my teammate of Piastri. He's going to go for a dive up the inside as well. Piastri holds it around the outside. We get the inside line for turn 2, but the better traction in that Aston Martin car moves Vettel back up into P16. We had a little look there on our teammate, but again, just thought better of it. No need to battle with him at this stage of the race. Cutting back to the leaders now. Charles Leclerc coming back at his teammate of Carlos Sainz, going down in towards turn 1. Going to go the long way round through the first corner. We'll get the inside line through turn 2, but like Sebastian Vettel, Carlos Sainz has great traction off the outside of that corner, but Charles Leclerc holding his nose in. They're going to go the long way round through this left-hander, and it looks like he's got the job done. He's got the lead of the race back again, but what an incredible battle we're watching so far between these four leaders. You've got Leclerc, Sainz, Verstappen and Perez all fighting at the front at the moment as Piastri and Vettel have a little wiggle coming out of the left-hander, and we're going to go wheel to wheel Piastri again. We have a little look there, but again, just being wise, not going for that overtake too soon on our teammate. We don't want to hold each other up. I don't want to lose this DRS train, so we're being wise to that at the moment. And looking back at the leaders, Carlos Sainz versus Charles Leclerc, it's not over yet. Sainz now attacking the inside once again down in towards turn 1. Charles Leclerc makes contact with his teammate, and that has allowed the Red Bull of Max Verstappen to move up into second place. This could now be Red Bull's race for the taking. It was looking spot on for the Ferrari team at 1 and 2, which is exactly what they want to try and win the Constructors' Championship this year. But that little mistake there between the two of them has allowed Max Verstappen to split them. And will he now go on the attack of Carlos Sainz? We've also got Daniel Ricciardo and Lando Norris fighting, teammates fighting all over the place at the Jeddah Corniche circuit. As we've also got Lance Stroll looking to attack Zhou Guanyu as they go down in towards turn 1. Lance Stroll also looking on Daniel Ricciardo and Lando Norris up the inside. They go 3 wide. Lance Stroll could be about to pull off an absolute mega move as we're going to have a look now on our teammate of Oscar Piastri. We are bored of being stuck behind him. We're going for it this time around up the inside into the left-hander, and we've moved ourselves up into P17. Whilst these guys are squabbling, we want to be there for the taking, ready to move up any positions if that opportunity arises. But unfortunately, it looks like the door's closed for now as Daniel Ricciardo slots into P15. Disappointing for Ricciardo there. Not only did he lose out to his teammate Lando Norris, but he also lost out to Lance Stroll and Zhou Guanyu. Vettel and Ricciardo still going side by side. We're going the long way round, but Piastri going for that overtake once again, and with that better grip on those medium tyres, again, we just have to back out of it because we don't want to lose time going side by side with our teammate through the corners. We want to stay in this train and see if we can pick up any positions from Vettel, from Ricciardo, and maybe Zhou, Norris and Stroll whilst those guys fight further up through the field. Because whilst they're all squabbling, I am there ready to take these positions later on in the race when I switch over to those soft tyres. But Piastri now going on the attack of Sebastian Vettel. Vettel attacking Daniel Ricciardo as well into the final corner. There's a yellow flag. No! Piastri's engine has gone. My teammate, his engine's blown up, and there's a big old pile up on the exit of the corner. We're going to move over to the right-hand side and just overtake absolutely everyone here as they all dart into the pit lane on the left-hand side. Vettel holding in, though. He's got better straight-line speed than us. Moves him over to the left-hand side. No room for us to go for the overtake on Norris as Vettel dives it up the inside of Lando Norris. Can he pull off this sensational move? Yes, he can. And Sebastian Vettel moving now into the points position, up in a P9, Norris in P10, and we are just sitting outside of it in P11 as the leaders coming into the pits now. Carlos Sainz leading the way from Sergio Perez. It's the battle of the pit crews now. Who can come out on top into the Red Bull pit box? It looks like a fairly simple pit stop for the team, but it looks like they've got the jump on the Ferrari. Yes, they have. Sergio Perez has jumped Carlos Sainz, but will they jump Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc? They're coming down the start-finish straight right now as they head down in towards turn 1. It's going to be neck and neck between these two. Can Perez get the jump? Charles Leclerc dives past Max Verstappen. He's also going to go wheel-to-wheel with his teammate of Carlos Sainz. He moves up into second place. Fantastic stuff there from Charles Leclerc as we get past a few other drivers who came into the pit stop. Now being overtaken by Valtteri Bottas, just so much quicker at this stage of the race. Again, like when we were fighting with our teammate of Oscar Piastri, no need to fight Valtteri Bottas just because we just lose too much time there. And of course, our fight is not with him, it's with the likes of Sebastian Vettel, Daniel Ricciardo, who's only sitting in P13. So if something were to go wrong for anybody up top, especially this battle for the lead that keeps going on. Charles Leclerc now attacking Sergio Perez. Going to go the long way round, around the outside, through turn 1, get the inside line for turn 2. But as we've seen so many times, the traction on the outside of that corner, getting the inside for turn 3 and turn 4 is usually the superior line. But Charles Leclerc around the outside of turn 4 is going to get that jump on Sergio Perez and move himself back into the lead of the race. This is incredible stuff, watching the AI fight back and forth as Charles Leclerc looks up into the final corner. He's gone from first all the way down into 4th position. He's going to hold it wheel to wheel with Max Verstappen, but Verstappen here is going to have the DRS. He's going to have that extra straight line speed, and look at that, tucks in front of his rival. And Charles Leclerc goes from the lead of this race, dropping all the way back down into 4th position. He's got it all to do once again here on lap 15. Ferrari's hopes for a race win then all lie with his teammate of Carlos Sainz. He overtakes Sergio Perez heading down into the final corner. No lockups there from the other Ferrari driver of Carlos Sainz. He holds the position against Sergio Perez, who is now having to go on the attack of Carlos Sainz if he wants to get the lead of the race back. Once again heading down into the first corner, but he just doesn't have that straight line speed over the Ferrari engine, and Sainz leads this Grand Prix on lap 17. But we're now watching Charles Leclerc at the end of the lap go on the attack of Max Verstappen. It's clear to see that the Ferrari is definitely the quicker car at the moment. Red Bull getting into this fight all because of Carlos Sainz's and Charles Leclerc squabbling as Max Verstappen does exactly what Charles Leclerc did earlier, locks up into the final corner, opens the door for the Ferrari man, and Charles Leclerc moves back onto the podium and will go on the hunt of the other Red Bull of Sergio Perez. And it looks like he's going to try and do it into the final corner. Can he make the move there? No, he can't. For now, he just has to be patient. But there is another DRS zone heading down the long back straight as we're watching in the bottom left-hand corner. Myself being overtaken now by Kevin Magnussen. Charles Leclerc having a little look on Sergio Perez, but just like his teammate, he locks up and allows Charles Leclerc a very easy overtake to move up into P2. Could Leclerc get back into this race and take the race win? Only time will tell, as we are going to now be coming into the box for our pit stop. Getting overtaken there by Kevin Magnussen. We thought it wise not to hold up and lose too much time going side by side with those drivers. We were going a little bit longer into this race, trying to hope and pray for a safety car, but it has not happened, so we have to make our pit stop now. Coming into the pits, we get Optimal on the pit box, but unfortunately, there's an error with our front left tyre. The pit crew, unfortunately, making a mistake there, and that has cost us what could have potentially be coming out right behind Alexander Albon. Put us side by side with Zhou Guanyu, but luckily, with that traction off of the corner, we hold on to P17. Let's take a look at a replay then of what went on in the pit stop as we come into the box now. Don't watch the guy who's doing the rear left tyre. He struggles to get the tyre off, and then unfortunately that cost us what was going to be about a 2.3 second pit stop. Takes it to 5 seconds. 3 seconds lost there, which is so much in Formula 1. Now watching a battle on lap 21 unfold between the guys just ahead of us. We've got Lance Stroll, Lando Norris, and Alexander Albon. Lando Norris having a little look and makes contact there with the Aston Martin of Lance Stroll. This allows Alexander Albon to get into the fight now. Lance Stroll on the inside line. We've got Norris in the middle. Alex Albon going round the outside into turn 1. It's 3 wide once again, and this is absolutely perfect for myself, because whilst these guys are all squabbling, look who is coming in the background. There I am, right on the back now of Albon, Stroll, and Norris with these fresher, faster, softer tyres as we're going on the attack now through the S's section. No way to overtake through here. It's one line all the way through the corners, but if we can absolutely maximize our exit off them, which we have done, use our ERS and now go on the attack of Albon in towards this long sweeping hairpin, braking later than the Williams driver, and that is a very simple overtake, and Lance Stroll loses the back end out of the corner. I'm going to go wheel to wheel into the right-hander, and he absolutely squeezes me right up against the walls, giving me front wing damage. We then knock it on the right-hand side as well with that less downforce. We vehicle condition check, and Mark tells us that we have indeed got front wing damage. So Lance Stroll, typical, not looking in his mirrors, and we're going to go round the outside now in towards this left-hander. Great move there on Lance Stroll, but unfortunately he is going to get DRS on us once again and go on the attack all the way down into the final corner. He's on the right-hand side. Now, we're not going to squeeze him too much. We're not going to push him into the wall. There's a slight bit of contact once again between the two of us. We go a little bit too deep there into the hairpin, and that allows Lance Stroll to come straight back at us down the start-finish straight. We've got hardly any battery now as we head down in towards turn 1. He's got DRS. We've got nothing. But we brake so much later than the Aston Martin driver. He allows the door wide open through the inside of turn 2, which is so surprising to me, seeing as he just slammed the door shut earlier on in the previous lap. We go round the outside through turn 4 and on the inside of turn 5, and we hold the position. But that is not what we wanted. That's going to lose us so much time to the McLarens of Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo. P13 is there for the taking, and I'll tell you what else is there for the taking: the race win, as Charles Leclerc goes on the attack of Carlos Sainz right around the outside into the final corner. He's going to need to brake later than his teammate, but his teammate now is going to get the DRS, so he's going to have to go on the defensive against Sainz as they head down in towards turn 1. Of course, Charles Leclerc was the race winner last time out in Bahrain. Carlos Sainz wants a piece of that action as he goes round the outside through turn 1. We'll get the inside line of turn 2, but how many times have we seen it? That traction out of turn 3 is so superior. But now Max Verstappen having a look into turn 4, goes up the inside of Carlos Sainz, doesn't get the job done, but does allow Charles Leclerc to get a big gap, and surely that is job done. Surely there is nothing that Carlos Sainz can do to catch up to his teammate. No, he can't. The gap is 1.3 seconds. And now Max Verstappen going on the attack. The battle for P2 at the moment, right around the outside of the final corner. It's wheel to wheel between the two of them. Looks like Sainz is just ahead as they exit the corner, but Verstappen will have the DRS. Charles Leclerc wins the race. Sainz just about beats off Max Verstappen with Sergio Perez in 4th. It is so close between 2nd to 4th there. The Ferrari team very happy with another 1-2 so far this season. Our race is not done yet though. We are going to try and hunt down these two McLaren drivers, just about hanging on with the DRS as we head now through the S's section. We're going to have to try and brake late through these next couple of corners if we want to go on the attack of Daniel Ricciardo and Lando Norris. But unfortunately, we are just out of the DRS zone, of course, losing the time because of that front wing damage that we got earlier on in the race. But if anything happens between these two as they go side by side through the final corner, we are ready there to pick up the pieces. ERS on all the way down to the line. The two ahead lights are flashing, but it's not going to be enough. Ricciardo beats Norris, and we have to settle for the position behind them, which was P15. So a decent race in the end, 21st to 15th, but unfortunately no points to back up what we scored last time out in Bahrain. But we do get driver of the day, so we will take that. Charles Leclerc is the race winner once again. That's 2 out of 2 for the Ferrari driver, and he's going to be very happy with that, with Carlos Sainz finishing in second place and Max Verstappen in third. So a great end to the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Fantastic battles all round between everybody out there. We also had Sergio Perez in 4th, Lewis Hamilton and George Russell 5th and 6th, with Alonso 7th, Bottas in 8th, Kevin Magnussen finishing in 9th, with Mick Schumacher scoring points once again. We had to settle for 15th position today, and unfortunately for our teammate, he finished down in 22nd. That result now leaves us 13th in the Drivers' Championship, still with only 1 point to our name, and we still hold on to 8th position in the Constructors' standings as well. But that is going to do for today's episode of the My Team Career Mode. Make sure you subscribe so you never have to miss an episode, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.